On Starkiller Base, Kylo Ren has spent the past few weeks in a bacta tank, with nothing to do but relive the nightmare that led to his severe injuries. Reliving the fear he felt as his uncle Chewbacca stalked towards him with murder in his eyes. Reliving the grief, guilt, and horror he felt when he drove his lightsaber through his father's chest. This shouldn't bother him. This should have solidified his connection with the dark side. Instead, killing his father showed him he still had love left. He still had light left. And when he remembered the light, he remembered her. The quickening, when he thought of her, filled him with a longing for his old life. But he had to repress that, recognize the loss, and use the pain to fuel his anger. He wasn't Ben Solo any longer. He was beyond these trivial attachments. He was Kylo Ren. His only attachment was the pursuit of power. Relieved was the day he was removed from the bacta tank. To be able to distract himself from the thoughts he was having was a greater comfort than even his healed wounds. And he was barely dried off when distraction found Kylo.
Sorry to bother you, Lord Kylo, but you are summoned to have an audience with Supreme Leader Snoke.
Did Snoke order you to stand there personally and wait for me to wake up?
No, Lord Snoke was kind enough to allow us to take shifts. But someone was always watching for the moment you woke up. Don't say anything, but I wonder why he couldn't predict your awakening. Didn't Palpatine claim to foresee everything? Does Snoke not have that?
Watch it, Hux. You have no idea the powers he has, or the loyal informants. Always assume the walls have ears. Let Snoke know I will be there as soon as I get dressed.
To be clear, you found the map to Skywalker, let it slip away. You then found the missing Ren and let her slip away. You then retrieved both, before letting them slip away again along with plans for our invasion. Finally, you were bested in combat by a feral animal. Do you have anything to add to your incompetence, or have you reached your peak?
No, Master. I've reached my peak.
How dare you speak to me without your helmet? You have not earned the right to look me directly in the eyes.
Sorry, my master.
Kylo Ren quickly put on his helmet. He knew the rules, but the helmet was causing him such pain on account of his wounds.
Use the pain, focus it.
He told himself as the helmet encased his head.
But you don't know the consequences of your incompetence. You are unaware that 6 of your brothers in the Knights of Ren have perished at the hands of Skywalker. A problem you were supposed to deal with. And now only 6 Knights of Ren remain because of you. Your stupidity better not have cost me the apprentice with the most potential. The only reason you are in the running is the legacy of your family name. But I have no problem starting a new legacy. Skywalker is already on his way to the New Republic. So your mission was a complete failure. You are to leave Starkiller Base immediately and bring your fleet to Coruscant. I am having all the remaining Knights of Ren gather to reinforce the blockade. Do you think you can manage that without an Ewok killing you?
Yes, my master, I won't fail you again.
The Millennium Falcon comes out of hyperspace and lands on Dekuar, where Luke and company are met with an excited and concerned Republic Council.
Master Skywalker, we are glad you are well, but there is no time for pleasantries. Coruscant is under siege. A blockade of remnant star destroyers surrounds the planet. They have not landed any troops, though. Long-range sensors and limited information from the ground report the remnant has unleashed on the surface of Coruscant the same pathogen found at your Jedi Academy, only on a much larger and more powerful scale. The population is destroying the planet for the remnant.
Let Master Skywalker tend to the personal first. Luke, it's your sister. A few weeks back she isolated herself. Locked in her quarters, she barely speaks to anyone. No one has seen her eat. It's unlike Leia or Solo to not be where she is needed. We have thought that the pathogen may have gotten to her somehow.
It's not the virus. A few weeks ago Han Solo was murdered. I felt his death from the unknown region. And my connection to Han wasn't anywhere near as strong as hers. I will go to her, and when her and I are finished, I will lay out my plan to take back Coruscant.
With all due respect, Master Skywalker, you've been missing for months. How can you even know what's going on, let alone have a plan to fix it?
General Madine, after everything you've seen Luke Skywalker do you really need to ask that question?
Seeing Luke's face brought life back to Leia. She rushed to her brother's arms, so happy to see him after all this time, not knowing for sure if he was okay. With her son missing and Han dead, Luke was all she had. They talked for a while, discussing recent events, including the probable death of Chewbacca, but both knew they would have felt it if their friend was dead. And finally, Luke broke the news to Leia that her son, Ben, was the one who killed Han. This news would have broke most people, but not Leia. She rose from her chair and said,
To quote our late father, he will join us or die. Kylo Ren will die for killing Han. I just hope Ben doesn't die with him.
The whole military council was in session, just waiting for Luke to reemerge and tell them the plan he had. When Luke appeared with Leia, those in attendance had to hold back their excitement. Luke and Leia could feel hope rise in the Force. So Luke laid out his plan with the full backing of Princess Leia. A few brave officers voiced their concerns about giving the fate of Coruscant and its people to such a small probability. But Luke said he trusted the Force. And everyone else trusted Luke, so they got to work preparing for their attack. And Luke gathered his group to tell them the plan.
The Republic fleet will engage the remnant above Coruscant. It will look as though this is our big push to get control of the capital. But the fleet will only be a diversion to allow Poe to fly his X-Wing past the blockade and drop his payload onto the surface.
What's my payload?
You will be dropping a modified torpedo acting like an ejection pod. Inside will be Finn.
Master Skywalker, I have a few questions that may poke holes in this plan. If Finn survives the trip to the surface, aren't you forgetting the crazy virus affecting everyone on the planet? And the bigger question, why Finn?
Finn has a natural force ability to fend off coercion. Just being able to withstand multiple Imperial Remnant brainwashing sessions without training shows a talent even I don't possess. The theory is Finn's natural force ability will stop the virus from controlling him.
Theory? You are just going to throw him to the Gundarks based upon a theory. And what about the bloodthirsty hordes down there? How's he supposed to?
Rey, I volunteered for this. It's what Master Skywalker was training me to do all that time on Act 2. The Force gave me this ability for a reason. It has to be this. Not to mention liberating a whole planet has to count towards making up for all the bad stuff I did when I was with the Empire.
Oh, Finn, there must be another way, other than you fighting an entire planet alone.
He won't be alone. I am going with him.
I can't allow that, Maz. The dark side virus will turn you and you would be a liability to the mission.
Excuse me, great and powerful Jedi, but I don't need your permission. And I would not worry about a little old virus turning me. I have been keeping the Force balanced within me for over 1,000 years. What do you say, kid? You want company?
It is going to be awfully tight with the two of us crammed into that torpedo.
What is wrong, Finn? Don't like cuddling.
Master Skywalker, what are you and I doing during this plan of yours?
We are decoys in the Force, Rey. We will join the attack fleet in the Falcon. Snoke will be in the command ship, so we will try to board that and confront him. 3 Force users on the Millennium Falcon should distract Snoke enough to make him think that confronting him is our goal.
I'm sorry, sir, did you say 3 Force users?
Yes. I am going with you to confront my son.
Is that wise, Mistress Leia? You are a politician, not a warrior.
I will let that slide, one time, because of your amnesia. Yes, I am a former chancellor. Also a ranking general. But mostly you have forgotten I am a trained Jedi Knight and a Skywalker.
Later, Poe finds Finn wandering aimlessly around the flight deck.
Finn, my man, I have seen that face before. You nervous? Well, don't be. I will get you to the surface safe and sound. And as soon as you send the signal, I will be right there to pick you up. I got your back, brother. Now if you will excuse me, I have to run the pre-flight checklist. Keep your spirits up.
But Finn wasn't worried about the combat. For the first time in his life, Finn was fighting for something. Finn was worried about letting his friends down.